The Wellness Forum Institute, with whom I'm partnered with, I do several programs with them. They are an excellent company. Their quote is this: 85% of healthcare, I put the word sick in there because we spend money when we're sick, right? Not when we're healthy. So 85% of healthcare expenditures are for chronic degenerative diseases, most of which are preventable and many of which are treatable and reversible with the right diet and lifestyle choices. Again, that's good news. So, a lot of people say, well, you know, it doesn't matter what I do. I've just inherited bad genes. The very first nutrition class that I taught, the Nourish Your Body for Lifelong Well-Being, that I taught, I had a young man in the class, and he was in his 30s, and his late 30s, and he said that his grandfather had only lived to like 44. His father had only lived to about 44. And so he fully expected that he wouldn't make it any longer than that, and he was just going to live life large and eat whatever he wanted and do whatever he wanted because he expected an early death sentence. He says that he inherited bad genes. Well, that's not true. That is fiction, because diet overpowers genetics. There is a whole host of data, a whole mountain of data that shows food is information. It contains molecules that speak to those genes, and it either turns on the disease processes or it turns off the disease processes. So while your family might have a predisposition to certain things, like a family might really have an issue with diabetes, or a family might really have an issue with heart disease, it's really the diet that we inherit, and that's what switches on those genes to create, or I should say promote, that disease in the body. So what are you feeding your genes, right? It's very important that you pay attention to what you're feeding those genes. Are you turning them on or are you turning them off? We want to be turning them off. And everyone knows that vegetables are good for them. Everyone knows that those high-fat fast foods are not good for them. And if you knew, as soon as you ate one of those bacon double cheeseburgers, that you were going to have a heart attack and drop dead right there, you'd never have one. The issue is that it's insidious over time. So you don't notice what's happening. Although your body does start to promote those disease processes, you do start to feed those genes that way that will allow that disease to progress in your body. And over time, now you've got the symptoms, you're on the medications, and you feel like, oh my gosh, how did this happen to me? So that's good news, right? Because again, it's not genetics that causes the problem. Our bodies were designed to live a very long, very healthy life, way into 90s and beyond, as long as we are nourishing ourselves and we are moving ourselves. We do very, very well.